Hello, and welcome to episode 15 of the LoadDown podcast. This week we are continuing our focus on heavy metal wellness as we chat to mental health nurse and co-founder of heavy metal therapy, Angela Glaves.
This is the LoadDown podcast.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yeah, we're a bit different this week, aren't we? We're doing it on a Friday.
Yeah.
So we're still on our sober, dry January, aren't we? So,
Yeah.
but we've got no beer to review this time because we're just on a can of Coke.
Felt a bit naughty. I think even a 0% lager before I'm about to pick the kids up from school.
Yeah, on a Friday afternoon.
On a Friday afternoon.
It's a weird thing, that, isn't it? You couldn't sit at work and
No,
knock
no.
back 0% beers, could you? I've just ordered some Schneiderweiss, alcohol free.
That sounds great. That sounds good.
Bainsy put us up to it. It's not cheap though. It's
No.
like works out about $2.70 a bottle.
All right.
But he's just got them and he said they're really, really good.
Oh, man.
It's just a nice cold drink at the end of
Oh,
the day.
yeah, nothing better than a good Schneiderweiss as well.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
so we're driving on with our little bit of it's not so much of a health kick, more of a nudge.
Yeah. A gentle tap in the right direction.
Yeah, gentle kick up the bum. But yeah, we've tried to get out, doing a bit more of the old walking. We had our episode last week with Hannah, which was really good, and I'm really pleased with the response we've got from everyone, especially all those in the RockFit community. We had lots of follows, comments, and invites to sessions and things, which has been good.
We did, yeah.
We were unfortunately far too far away from cities. aren't we?
We're about 2 hours away from any type of major city, so it's not.
Yeah,
an
we
easy
got
task.
invited to the Manchester one, so thank you for that. But yeah, it would be a 4-hour round trip for us to do
Some cool things they
aerobics.
were doing though. They were doing some RockFit sessions with live bands.
That's
so
amazing.
they were bringing in local bands who were up and coming and putting them and doing their RockFit classes to them. Great, that'd be brilliant.
Yeah, I mean that works. We said it with Hannah last week. It works so well for all parties involved, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You get a bit of a gig while you exercise.
Mm-hmm.
The bands get some exposure.
Yeah, perfect mix, isn't it?
Yeah,
So I've been in the gym a couple of times this week. I've lost 8 pounds.
well done, mate.
I really putting that down to drinking.
Yeah.
I think that's got to be the main thing for losing all that. All probably water weight and Christmas bloat, but nonetheless, I'm pretty chuffed with that so far. So I'm gonna try and keep that up.
Yeah, well done. Feeling better for it?
Yeah, much better, much more motivated in all walks of life, really.
Yeah, mainly this one.
Mainly, yeah. So yeah, all going well. We're going for a walk up the lakes on Saturday with Seb and Danielle and the dog, and yeah, it's great.
Nice.
Really good.
Yeah, we've got Adam's football tomorrow, so I'll be refereeing that, getting a load of abuse off parents again for not giving the 6-year-olds a free kick or something. Yeah, so we've had another very special guest, and this week we have welcomed, as we said in the intro, Angela Glaves, and Angela is a mental health nurse. She's a heavy metal fan and a lecturer on mental health at Sheffield Hallam University. She and her colleague and friend, Dr. Kate Quinn, founded Heavy Metal Therapy, which is a group, a support group. I think that's the word to use, isn't it? A peer support group for people who are interested in just learning more about mental well-being. And I think something we say in the interview later is that doesn't mean negative mental health. I think we've learnt that a lot in the last 10 years, that I think if anyone mentioned the word mental health, you'd immediately go to a place of that person struggling. But I think it's more of a way of being constantly aware of it.
Yeah.
keeping yourself buoyant, keeping yourself, happy, aware. Make sure you're getting a load of sort of mindfulness and stuff in.
Yeah.
And
it's not there for when things go really wrong.
no,
is it?
no,
That's
it's something you keep an eye on all the time.
Actively doing.
Yeah. Because in the same way as better physical fitness, better physical health, keeping good mental health, it's got to be good, hasn't it?
Just as important, absolutely. Yeah, if not more so.
Yeah, and something that I think, especially British people over the years, have always just gone, just grit your teeth and get through everything. And then suddenly the Tower of Cards comes tumbling, doesn't it? So, yeah, without delay, really, we'll pass it over to our interview with Angela. We really enjoyed chatting. We had a really good chat, and we spoke just before we started recording this sort of preamble bit. We were saying how good it is, the heavy metal community, that we've never spoken to Angela before today. It's the first time we've ever, seen her, spoke to her, and we could have spoke to her all afternoon, couldn't we? We had a really, really good chat.
Apart from getting the free wristbands at Download, which is a very short interaction. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. The fact we spoke to her for an hour, which we've never met, and we could have spoke to her all day.
All day, yeah. So
much.
Says
a lot about the heavy metal community.
It does. So you get that little bit of common ground, especially at Download, and this is one for people who may go on their own even to Download. It doesn't take long to strike up a conversation with someone you've never met before and make a friend, be it for the weekend, for the day, the hour, the weekend, life.
For life, yeah.
So, it's really wonderful. And she told us a lot about the good things that they're doing, the ambitions they've got going forward, the new ideas she has for expanding heavy metal therapy. Yeah. So we'll pass it over to that interview, and I hope you enjoy it. Please comment anything that you think you'd like to talk about, any further advice, any links you'd like to hear from us or from Angela, then that'd be great. See you on the other side.
This is the LoadDown Podcast.
So just again to welcome our guest for this week. Our special guest is Angela Glaves from Heavy Metal Therapy. So for those who don't know, Angela, you are a heavy metal therapy support group leader, and you're also, in your day job, you're a lecturer in mental health nursing, and you also work as a community mental health nurse.
Yeah, I sound busy, don't I? Yeah, that's yeah. Hello.
and equally as important, you're an avid fan of metal music.
Yeah, I'm an avid fan, and that's a really nerdy reference. And I also love horror. So
right.
every time that gets quoted, like 3 people have said it, I have a little chuckle because my brain goes, "Ha ha, that's a line from Manhunter." But yeah, see, I'm just a metal nerd, really. That's what I am.
Well, join the crew, because I think we all are in a safe space here. That's for sure.
So, have you been to Download many times before the group started? Is it something you did prior?
I've been to Download about, I'm going to say, probably my mates that I go with will probably correct me at a certain point later on. I'm going to say about 18 years.
Wow.
I started going with my mate Emma and my best mate Vicky, who's the sister of Emma. So the 3 of us, well, they used to go and they invited me, and I started going to Download, and then that was it. I didn't stop, apart from the 2 years when it wasn't on.
They were a rough 2 years, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you manage to go to the pilot festivals?
I thought about it, and on the one hand I was very much like, I want to try it, but on the other hand I kind of was a little bit hesitant and thought, well, if it's a pilot, do I want to go? Do I want to just wait for it to be back as it was? And also the kind of other things that were going on, and heavy metal therapy, we'd done Primordial. We were lucky enough to be invited to Primordial Festival, so kind of which was lots of fun, and we had 2 days and we did a stall. But I kind of felt like I'd got a little bit of a festival kind of like patch to tide me
Yeah.
over.
yeah, just something to tick you over.
Well, that's all it
Yeah.
was, really, wasn't it? Because whilst it was great, it wasn't the same.
No, it didn't feel like the same.
It didn't. Yeah, it didn't feel like. I mean, it was like being at download, like a little kind of like a little pretend download, which was a lot of fun. But you still had that. Oh, I really hope. I mean, you've got to remember these. We weren't always sure that download would ever come back.
No.
It was quite a tough time, and for people like ourselves, we've said in the podcast previously, one of the main reasons we're doing this podcast is because myself and Johnny have both had mental health struggles in the past. So the isolation of COVID was quite difficult for us.
It was really difficult. Yeah. Like Mike said, this was really born out of the chat we were just having, and like, we just need something. We need a bit of a outlet. We need an opportunity to catch up, don't we, weekly, and talk about all things heavy rock and metal and download, and it really links into, I guess, your views with the heavy metal therapy group as well, I guess.
Yeah.
So how was that born?
How did heavy metal therapy come about? I really like telling this story because I know that Kate doesn't like. So Kate had this idea because of somebody that she was working with around, that metal's therapeutic and that we use metal to explain like how we're feeling, or just use it for, getting anger out or whatever, because people use metal in different ways, don't they? Because people use music in different ways. So she messaged me, and I always like reminding her of it because I just like pulling the "I told you so" face. She messaged me saying she'd had this little idea, and she didn't think much of, she didn't think maybe much would come of it, but if nothing else, we'd maybe get like 500 likes on the page that she'd make us on Facebook, and if we got that, that'd be great. And that was in like 2018. And then we started a Facebook page, and people were lovely, and they would send us like their stories or like little things about how a gig's been for them and how it really lifted them up, or, what they use music for, or when they first met this band, or they came into contact with this album, and all this kind of really, really lovely stuff that people were sending us about personal things. But you know how Facebook kind of pages work, and stuff was just getting lost. So then it kind of like grew that we made a website, and then we had people kind of asking us for different things, and we'd get ideas from people. Oh, if I like this music, and we'd like, oh, well, that's kind of like, you've said that about anger, and you've said that about anger. Shall we make a playlist about like songs to do with anger and depression and all these kind of different topics? And it's just kind of naturally morphed into this bigger thing out of, I think I'll make a page and we might get 500 people like it. And if we do, that'd be great. So, so that's how it kind of came about.
That's incredible, isn't it?
So there was, it's obviously grown and grown, but I was reading in your on the website that there was originally 5 of you, and then it grew from there, or was it just the two of you?
There's me and Kate, and then there's Sam and Ben. So it's we're the four kind of to get black and corporate directors, because we don't want to get in trouble with the tax man, so we have done sensible things like registered with the company's house. So we're the four directors, and then it's we've got people that have just seen us or come along or been friends of somebody else, and then we've grown into quite a lot of volunteers now, which is really nice that people want to be part of it.
Yeah, that's incredible. It's naturally grown, and things do that when they're good, when they're great, aren't they?
Yeah.
People naturally kind of swarm to it, don't they, and get involved and stuff. We've got the thing with the podcast, really.
Yeah, and I'm speaking to the Rockfit, to Hannah from Rockfit last week, and it's a similar, because I think with the mental health, with Rockfit and with our podcast, I think we're trying to drive a message of positivity and happiness, and this community of rock fans. And I mean, the reason we got a Download is because of that community family feeling, that warm feeling you get at Download when you're surrounded by like-minded people. So to take that into fitness last week, and obviously the mental health this week, it's such a wonderful sort of extension of heavy metal music.
Yeah.
And do you think people feel more comfortable talking about mental health when they're surrounded by, people in a similar gig shirt, or, people that they've got that immediate common ground with?
Yeah, I think that, like, if I don't know about other people, but like, I know that if you put me in a room full of people that looked very different to me, I'd already be all on edge.
Yeah.
So I guess it's kind of like being with other like-minded people. You already maybe think, well, actually, there's some sort of commonality there already.
Yeah.
And, there is a lot to be said about peer support stuff. When somebody says, I'm going through this, 8 other people might go, me too. Actually, I didn't know that anybody else was going through this. So to know that somebody else, oh, yeah, I don't feel so alone now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really important, isn't it?
Yeah.
To have that support network around you, particularly when you're going through those rough times where you've had it and we're going through it. And we find it really important, don't we?
Yeah. So the peer support group side of things, that grew from the initial, the online stories and everything, and then it's grown to in-person things. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, we started during lockdown with because people were, like most people, not being able to get to gigs, not being able to get that kind of out the house into just a room with a bunch of other people wearing similar all black clothing. No headbanging, no therapeutic, kind of headbanging going on. So we had some requests from people to do other stuff. So we made a separate Facebook group, which is just mostly memes. I'm not going to lie. But on the other hand, I really like a good meme.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially when it's a little bit anti-wellness. Like, we've got one that's like, meditate and listen to the voices in your head. And then it's like the picture is the voice inside my head. And it's a really like, massive kind of like corpse painted guy.
Yeah. Hang on.
That kind of. But we did kind of throw together a couple of other things online, like Zoom. Like we've got James, who's one of the volunteers, and he did like a little session. We did some stuff over Christmas around like, just watch something and do something together. We had sewing and patch kind of stuff with
cool.
Adam. Yeah, he's part of another group, and they do like sewing. So we're like, got a battle jacket, yeah, coming. So we kind of like started doing bits that were more organized and more kind of group orientated. And people for the last few years actually have sort of said to us, because when we say heavy metal therapy, we kind of have to, whenever like me or Kate, because sometimes we are like privileged enough to like go somewhere and present and do something, and we get like questions back like about like, so whereabouts do you hold your therapy? And we're like, it's not actually therapy in that sense. It's more like when you go retail shopping, it's that kind of therapy. But we were getting quite a lot of questions around, do you hold groups, do you do anything that's more kind of the organized in that way? So we did have this idea about peer support groups being organized, and we've managed to start a few actually in several locations. They're on our website. We also do an online one as well, because we know that not everybody can get to maybe where we've got ours running, or for other reasons find it's not manageable to go out. But again, it's it's really nice that like we've got coffee shops and record places that are being really lovely to us and saying, you can have this space for these groups, which is, everybody's just really lovely.
That's great. But it's really, I found it to be true that there's no one size fits all, is there, for mental health support. What works for some people, like I've had other friends that are insistent that the way they've found mental health support is the way that I should be doing it. And I'm like, well, that doesn't really work for me the same way. So, and what works for me might not work for you. So, like you say, if you've got, like you say, almost like a catalogue of different options for people, it's going to open so many doors.
Yeah, I mean, we've always said that we're not prescriptive. We're not, this is how it is for everybody, and this is what you need to help you. We're not saying we are suggesting you do this. What we're saying is other people have said that they've got a similar experience. This is how it is for them, because everybody's different. And this is how they've coped with that or found things to manage or distract them or do whatever it is that they do.
Yeah.
You might find that useful, but you might not. So, yeah, I like that, we've got different things because, some people are very much like, I want something to read, take it away, think about it. And then, that's made me think, actually, I'm not the only one that's going through this. Yeah. Other people are very much like, I want to sit and share, or I want to just listen to other people because knowing that, again, I'm not the only one that's ever had this kind of experience means it might be a little less frightening.
Yeah. Absolutely. And we've seen that we've had our own struggles and through medication and everything. And it's not until you start talking about it, even to my, probably say, a very close group of friends, you don't realise how many people are actually going through so much and having to go through the whole medication route and everything. I was so shocked when I found out, and it's like, why aren't we openly talking about this? And we do now, and that's it. That's just part of our natural pub chat. Is just general. How are we all doing? How's everything going?
The way I've seen that develop in the last 10 years, in terms of, I think once upon a time people thought if you talked about mental health, you were immediately talking about a negative mental health, where people just talk about mental health as a whole. Is in the same way you would talk about your fitness or your general health otherwise. Yeah.
I mean, there's loads of stigma. There's loads of stigma around different things. But and we're not, by all means, we're not saying that this is or should be instead of other support avenues, medication, etc. This is an addition as well as.
Yeah.
Or, for some people, because when I do stalls and events, we do get people coming over and going, oh, can I take this leaflet? Because I think my mate might appreciate this for their, whoever it is, just a bit of information sharing. Because sometimes people don't feel they can talk, or other times, maybe it's just because, for some reasons we don't openly advertise as much. Maybe we do more than we used to. I think some people are like very much like, I don't know where to go. Where should I go for stuff? Who can I or if I go to, I don't know, a professional, will they then, there's that kind of self-stigma of what will I be thought of, and just so maybe sometimes people find however they get good quality information, I don't mean like amigonadie.com, certain websites off like never Google your symptoms but like a little bit of like self-research before going, oh, okay, so I think this is kind of sounding like what I'm experiencing, and then that might help the person then feel again less like it's just me, I'm gonna be whatever. And then go somewhere else maybe for some support. I don't know.
You talked about stigma then as well, and there's also stigma around mental health, but there's also for a long time been the stigma around heavy metal music. So you're coupling them together, and that makes things hard. And I wanted to, I made a little note just around the myth that like heavy metal music makes people angry, because that's such a common myth. You listen to this must drive you absolutely nuts, but it's not. It's so, but that's just how people perceive. Like this must, we're actually, it's a calming influence.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it is therapeutic. Yeah, for me, absolutely therapeutic.
Yeah.
How do you find that in your professional field? Like when you say that you do the heavy metal therapy.
So, as an example, okay, because I'm a lecturer here at Hallam Uni, the Masters Mental Health Nursing They start in January, and they've got an induction week where we do lots of different like welcome things. And one of those last year was I got asked to come and present a little bit about heavy metal therapy, just to give them an idea of, you know, the types of things that there is out there in terms of other support, and also to give the mental health nurses, students, an idea of, you know, what mental health necessarily what I can't talk. Put my tongue bar and start again. To give them an idea of, because sometimes people might have a stereotypical idea of what a mental health nurse is.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that I do my heavy metal therapy stuff as the nurse. I'm just, you know, just an idea of, you know, the things that you might get into project wise.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily just have to be around, you know, research or medication, because sometimes those two things are great, but just to give them the idea of. So I played them a piece of music, because, you know, it wouldn't be heavy metal without, and I played them Slaughter to Prevail.
Yeah.
And I always enjoy the look on the faces, because I could immediately pick out the two metalheads. And some people were very much like, I'm not quite sure what to make of this. And some people were very much like, what is going on? And again, that kind of question comes up was, but hang on, if you listen to metal music, doesn't that make you... And we had a lovely conversation around like Dee Snider and, you know, 1985 kind of Congress thing in America, and the whole...
fantastic.
I love his speech. Yeah. You know, and yeah, there are these myths, you know, perpetuated in media and, you know, other things around heavy metal music is essentially bad for you. And, you know, and I did talk about like the reason that I play that particular song by Slaughter to Prevail is because it's my happy tune. I can't do it, and I would never embarrass myself in trying. But when he says Demolisher in that growl that I think causes some sort of like, it's Richter scale kind of, that just makes me go, just makes me chuckle. I can be in the foulest mood ever, and that just makes like they were kind of like, oh yeah, I've never thought of it like that. It's like there must be a song surely that you listen to that other people think, oh, that's a bit, I don't know, really, really like energetic, but you actually think I've calmed down now, or there's some kind of like almost opposite to it. So you know, there is often a kind of question of, but doesn't it make you angry? And I'm like, no, there are other genres that I don't particularly get on with, but that would make me a little bit,
that would make me angry.
but no,
Well, you get that little bit of an adrenaline rush. You get, I imagine, a little bit of a dopamine hit when that familiar kind of, like you say, that growl, and you can grit your teeth and clench your fist, and you feel a little bit more powerful after it, don't you? Like,
and, we mentioned it on the Rockfit episode last week as well. That goes hand in hand. The exercising to heavy metal and rock music is just something that just gets you going.
But you just feel that bit stronger. You've finished. I remember watching Slayer at Download 2019, and I felt like I could kick a door down after it, because you're like, yes.
You're like, I
and then you remember how old you are, and it's like, oh, maybe not.
Like,
I think there's also something to be said for like. So like when we think about heavy metal and like Dio and Black Sabbath and everything, with such like the telling stories almost, and it's like fantasy, isn't it? And I think that's another where for me that heavy metal is therapy. It takes me to a place that's maybe not where I am now, where I'd be struggling, and puts me somewhere totally different. It's incredible. I think the power that it has, particularly those bands that are doing the storytelling songs.
Yeah. So like it's almost like a little bit of escapism.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But
I don't think we should be like. That's a good thing. I think it's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, you don't want to escape from, you're escaping from reality. No, it's good. Get away. Download is our reset button, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is that escape as well.
And what you said before about the patch sewing, like we've done our jackets, haven't we? And that's that little bit of mindfulness where you're just focusing on that small little patch of fabric, and you're sewing it, and you're not focusing on any problems you might have, any stresses you might have. You're just thinking about that.
Yeah. I came out of the beer tent at Download one year, Can't remember what year it was, which is very bad of me. And Motorhead were playing. And I came out of the tent and I have this very vivid memory of coming out of the tent just as Lemmy said, "We are Motorhead." And then they started with Ace of Spades. And I remember the physical reaction in my chest and just feeling like, oh my God. Because I'm as well as being a horror nerd, I'm a massive wrestling nerd as well. So I was like, oh, Triple H entrance music. Oh. But in that minute, I was thinking, it's Lemmy. Oh my God, this is amazing. I wasn't thinking about like, oh, I forgot to do so-and-so and churning over something that I didn't do last week, or the person that saw me on the corridor and I forgot to smile and now I'm ruminating on that. And I'm not planning, for next week and I can't forget this and I can't forget that. I was there.
Yeah.
And that kind of like just being in it and that physical like reaction to stuff, which that's the thing I love about metal.
Yeah.
That's what we love about Download as a whole, because we always, there are years where I've stayed off site, and fair play to anyone who wants to do that or has to do that for any reasons, but being in the bubble of Download and not having to go back to a normal civilization for a few days is just, like you said, such a reset button for us that I come back and people at work, people at friends that don't listen to heavy metal go, blimey, you seem like so much more positive after just that little like yearly reset. It's such a good thing.
Yeah. It's like my old manager. I'd not long since started my job, and I had to meet with him and explain to him that although I'd only just started, I'd booked a holiday, which was Download, and didn't know him. Bit nervous, and I kind of wandered in to the office. And he swiveled around in his chair and he got a Motorhead t-shirt on, and I was like, I think I'll be fine. It's like, I've got a holiday and it's Download. And he went, yep, no, that's fine. That is a holiday. That is definitely a holiday. Yeah.
We have dress down Fridays at work, don't we? So we're all, shirt and tie during the week, and then you'll start a new office or a new team, and you'll go, and then there's a lot of people with. I'll go and talk to him, and I'll talk to her, and that she's got a Partway Drive hoodie on, and you're suddenly like, there's all these people that are like me,
like covered in tattoos where you can't see them because everyone's wearing suits, and like, you've got a full sleeve, it's got Metallica on there. I had no idea.
Yeah,
that's how I met Kate, because I used work in a community mental health team, and she worked in the same building but in a different team, and we used to have like these big team meetings, and I kind of clocked her from the other side of the room, but it's not really appropriate in a big team meeting to go, are you a metalhead?
Yeah.
You look like, because you're wearing all black, and not to be, stereotypical, but I think you might be, professional goth, but can't really ask that at work. And then a week or two later, there was Slipknot played at the arena in Sheffield, and we bumped into each other on the corridor, and I went, I knew you were a metalhead. I knew it, but I couldn't ask at work because we were at work.
Just give her the horns and hope she'll give you the horns.
Yeah. That's such a nice moment, though, isn't it? When you see
when you spot somebody else.
It's like, it's fantastic.
Yeah, that's why I like Download as well, because like when I go, because when we go and we stay over, like there'll just be some random person that's like, I love you, or ooh, I really like you, which you end up just chatting with somebody random that you've never met for 10 minutes, just because something that you spotted on them, or vice versa, that you think, I'm just going to
there was a fella in 2019 came through, and he had the same Metallica patches as my dad in exactly the same order on the same shoulder, and then they just looked at each other, didn't say a word, and had a hug.
So cute.
Immediate best mates.
Yeah. And you'll spot a t-shirt. I was at that gig as well. I remember when, and you suddenly you're having a conversation, and we met Mitch from Australia just because he passed us, and we just got chatting, and I think it's such a self-confidence boost as well, when you can just because you think, I can do this, I can go and just talk to anybody and strike up a nice conversation, and Mitch and I are still in touch now 5-6 years later, and it's really nice.
Well, the guy that was in the tent next to me, Emma and Vicky, at my first year at Download. He was at my wedding last year.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
Yeah, Scotty and Pete. Yeah, in the tent next, like 2 hours, we sort of struck up a conversation with them. And yeah, years and years later, still mates, which is really lovely.
That
Yeah.
is amazing.
That's how we became mates, wasn't it?
That's it.
Yeah, back in the day, we knew each other. You lived next door to my mother-in-law's, didn't you? And then I think one day you just kind of spot something, and then like nearly 20 years later, we're still best friends. So it's funny how the world works.
Yeah, I like Download friends.
Yeah, no, it's good. We have a group that we meet up with every year now, and it just keeps growing and growing because each person goes, "Well, I've got another mate who would quite fancy this," and then suddenly there's like 25 of us in our camp now.
Like an army.
Yeah. So I was reading on your website about the principles as well. So I thought these were really, really interesting. Would you be able to talk us through just a couple of them? So the first one I think we've kind of covered is that we all have struggles and about sharing stories. I think another one that's important and probably one that needs a bit of sort of hammering home with the metal community is the trolling of bands and genres, because it's such a popular thing these days with social media, just go and just shit over someone else's favourite band. And yeah, I think people forget how that makes people feel.
Yeah. It's like, just don't.
Yeah, just come on.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
End of. Yeah.
Well, I remember that. I mean, the My Chemical Romance 2007 incident where they got a lot of stick, a lot of bottling and all that sort of stuff. And I said to someone online, imagine if that was some 14-year-old kid's first gig. They've gone there, they've been thinking about it all year, they've been looking forward to it, and then they've gone there, and rather than go and watch someone else, which you could have done, you've taken your time out to spoil it for them.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So I think kindness and positivity, I think that's, I don't know, in this social media age, I think it's something we all need to kind of keep hammering home. So that's a big rule for you, I'm guessing. And we did like we go tats out always.
We go tats out and always double knot in a mosh pit. We really like to
always double knot in a mosh pit. Yeah,
advice.
my friend Vicky, she lost her shoe in a Faith No More gig mosh pit. I mean, she does have the claim to fame that it made its way on stage, and Mike Patton picked it up. But he didn't unfortunately keep it, put it in a little glass box and leave a little. No, he didn't do anything like that. But yeah, always double knot in a mosh pit. Yeah, and pick each other up. It's just just be nice to people. And if you don't like the same thing that they like, then we're not all the same, are we?
No, exactly. Yeah, we spoke to, we did an interview with Josh, who was a Sleep Token super fan, and he told the story about Bloodstock, where he lost his shoe, stuck around after the mosh pit, found 30 shoes, none of which were his own.
No Cinderella moment.
Yeah, and then he had to walk back to his car with one shoe on.
Then why don't you just take one of the ones you found?
Yeah, I'd have just tried.
Walk it back in your socks.
Just find one that's maybe a similar size.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're not like clown shoeing it or like trying to squish it in. Yeah, just oh dear.
So to hammer home again the point you made before, you've put it on the website about you're not claiming to be a substitute for psychological therapy, but you're a self-help group and peer support community. If you feel a need for support from mental health services, please seek it through appropriate channels in the UK, which is usually your GP, or if things are obviously worse than that, it's 999. If you are, if things are at a critical point. And we heavy metal therapy, why headbanging is good for you. We read yours and Dr. Kate's article, and that was really enjoyed the article. And I think, the positivity about the music in your everyday life is really good. I mean, it's something that we do all the time. We're just constantly listening, we're researching, gig dates are happening, and it's such an exciting thing. And I think where some people think we'll probably class us as a little bit on the obsessive side of things, I'd rather be obsessing about that than obsessing about something negative. So So yeah, that article is on your website as well. Heavy Metal Therapy: Why Headbanging is Good for You. So if anyone wants to give that a read, please do, because it's really interesting. And also on your website, you mentioned before, you've got some excellent merch. I think that I'm going to get on there and get one of them T-shirts, because those T-shirts are really cool.
Yeah, we're a bit excited because we feel like we're grown ups. We've got a merch. We've got a merch store now. Oh, the excitement! I mean, we never started with, okay, we'll make stuff to then sell it. We're not about money, but again, kind of things just come out of people's suggestions. Like, we've got our logos, and we've got, a piece of art that somebody's gifted to us. We've got a couple of pieces of art actually, and people were like, "Oh, I'd like that on a T-shirt, or I'd wear that on a hoodie or a vest or whatever." So we started with just a T-shirt, and then we've managed to just this month get the merch store. So we've got a few bits, and again, if somebody, because we've got a couple of people that, I mean, I always get odd looks when I'm in the gym, when I really must remember that everybody else cannot hear the music I'm listening to, and I need to stop muttering along to it.
People getting further and further away from you.
Or two of them with tattoos are very much like, I wonder what she's got on, because it's like it's falling in reverse. So yeah, like some vests and a different kind of style of T-shirt, just because people want to, well, like you do for your band merch, you want to wear it to show other people that this is kind of what I'm into. So we've lucky that we've kind of got that up and running this month, and we're not about like, oh, we will have this to then make money. We don't. I mean,
well, it's spreading a message, isn't it? That's
we've got our Heavy Metal Therapy wristbands on, which you kindly gifted to us at Download last year. So I'm looking forward to looking at the merch. The merch site later on.
Yeah, I mean, stuff like that just goes back because we were doing the peer support group, so there's the printing, and so we kind of like move it around, so that kind of goes to help him with doing other bits. Amazing. But
yeah, we're doing the same. Are we? We've got a few sort of T-shirt designs. We haven't done anything yet, but it's more just to kind of bit of fun, if nothing else. And that's the only reason we're doing this podcast. And we enjoy ourselves and have a chat with my friend every week and meet new people like yourself. It's really fantastic.
I realised I forgot to tell you about. We're going to try and do some heavy metal therapy yoga.
Oh wow,
cool!
That'll be great.
Good.
Yeah. The person that works at my gym, Sally, she is a yoga instructor, and I seem to collect people. Don't know what that says about me, and I'm not going to look too deeply into it, but I collect people because one day Kate and I and the rest of heavy metal therapy, we will take over the world. I like to think of us as Pinky in the brain. She's the brain, I'm Pinky. So we've hopefully got some plans for heavy metal yoga with Sally, who's a mate. She's a yoga instructor, and then I've got. Oh, that's me. Sorry.
All right, we're used to that sound.
It haunts me, that sound.
It's like what meeting have I forgotten about?
Where am I supposed to be?
Yeah,
that would be a great thing to see at Download. Heavy metal yoga, because you got the rock fit classes, and then earlier, I mean, I've been to other festivals that have yoga in the morning. So if you did a heavy metal yoga in the morning, I think you'd get a real good.
What type of song would you like to see at a yoga class? Are they going to be Sleep Token-esque?
I was
thinking full on?
Yeah. Well, so this is all very like master plan in my head, which I probably should share with them. I will actually, because we're going to meet on Saturday. So there's Sadie that runs Hill Yoga Studio in Sheffield, and then this Sally who is a yoga instructor. And between them, they wanted to do something for heavy metal therapy, and we might also get Martin, who's Sadie's partner, doing some sound bath.
Oh stuff, which
would be amazing. But we're thinking that because when we do the peer support groups, you have to book onto that online, and we ask people to suggest kind of what music to play at the peer support group. So we were kind of thinking a similar thing for the yoga to make suggestions for tracks. I mean, because I don't know about, like, I've only done yoga like once, but I remember kind of thinking about it and then kind of wandering off, your brain just goes. So I don't know whether we do tunes to help you just go, or I don't know. Yeah, but I'm thinking Sleep Token, and and just reeling, like, just kind of like Tool stuff that just 15 minutes later and it's still the same track.
Perfect.
But
that sounds great.
Tool, you better put it over a whole year.
We can only have the class for 45 minutes. Yeah, but still, this track's really
the album's
long,
5
really
days
good.
long.
No, we're big Tool fans, aren't we? That'd be great.
Yeah, so that's kind of plans that I'm hoping that we can sort.
I'm sure we'll be able to.
Yeah. Again, that's to have that as a heavy metal thing is so much more appealing to me, because I know that I'm not going to be going and it's loads of 18-year-olds that look like they're made of elastic bands. But instead is going to be just people that look a bit more like me, dressing like me. Probably, it's probably going to be a new experience for a lot of people as well. And I mean, it's got to help you in those, 4 or 5 days at download if you're a bit more supple and a bit more flexible.
Yeah, I mean, if stretched beforehand, there might be less injury.
Yeah.
If you go in the pit. Or like me, forget that you're a 46-year-old elder emo and then still go in the pit.
Or even just try to get out of your tent, to be honest.
That's
hard enough, isn't it? Cracking and creaking.
Get up off the sleeping, be like, no.
Off the airbed.
Trying to get out of your... no, why is the zip? Where am I? What the hell has happened to this thing in the night?
The mosh pits next year will look amazing if we've all done yoga. It'll be like
flying,
acrobatics.
Doing backflips.
No, it's great, and it's great to see so many new ideas coming through around heavy metal, because it used to be you just went to a gig, went home, put your Walkman on, and that was it.
Yeah.
That was you back in your box for another few months.
I think we could put heavy metal in front of anything and it'd appeal to us.
Oh yeah,
heavy metal horse riding, heavy metal running clothes, anything. It would be up for it.
Oh yeah,
yeah, brilliant. But I mean, it all goes back to that community, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it keeps coming up in every conversation we have with everybody.
Yeah,
that sense of community.
Yeah,
you feel like you are part of one, even though you don't know anybody in it.
Yeah. You feel like you're home, don't you? We went through the testing thing at the pilot, didn't we? And some random guy just turned around and hugged us both because he was just so happy to be back amongst that.
Aww.
It was really nice.
Although it does make it a little bit difficult when you're like trying to find your mate in the crowd, because
everyone's hugging you.
The guy with the black shirt and the bald head.
That's it. Yeah, it could be any one of our 15 mates.
What am I? I'm stood by the pylon. I've got a hoodie on. Yeah, you and everybody else.
Yeah. We went through a phase of wearing different wigs, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
Really bright wigs. Big hats, bandanas, anything just to...
Hawaiian shirts were
Hawaiian shirt, yeah.
Because they're kind of the polar opposite to band t-shirts. So when we're at download and you see 20 people in Hawaiian shirts, that's usually us.
On the Friday, we always wear Hawaiian shirts. Hawaiian shirts over our gig shirts. So if you spot a very, very colourful load of people, it'll be us.
I'll look out for you then next year.
But yeah, we're doing RIP again, aren't we? So
you're going to be there this year? Are you at download this year?
Yes. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Who are you looking forward to this year?
Can't wait for Sleep Token.
Yeah, we went to see them. When did we see them? Before Christmas, was it?
When it was in the UK too. Was it October or November?
Yeah, October, November time. We went to
the Co-op Live in Manchester. That was
incredible.
Great show, yeah. Yeah, well, it's a mixed bag. I'm a big Jimmy Eat World fan, so I'm really looking forward to them. I've never seen Korn properly, apart from in passing at festival, so that'll be interesting. Yeah, it's a I like, we were saying this to our friends, when you actually see the day splits and you start thinking, I can start putting a day together there. I can see what they're going for in terms of stage runs and all. When it's just a massive band, it makes it quite difficult.
Consume it at all,
no.
Yeah, but when you get like your days like list and plans out, my mate Vicky, like she's like, right, what are we doing? Because she knows that I'm quite. It's almost like a kind of Minority Report, kind of like. We go second stage for 12. We are there for 45 minutes. We come across to main stage. We see 45 minutes of them. We've seen the next band because we saw them like 2 months ago at Nottingham. So then we go over to the other stage.
Yeah.
Then we see the band that we've neither of us seen before, but we really liked them when I just YouTubed it. And then we're going to go back to second stage, and then we're going to go and sit down for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
I'm going to need it.
That's exactly us. Yeah. I put in the bands, so we go, we're over to there, then we're over to there. Then you go, hang on, we need to get a pint in somewhere at that, so we'll hit that bar there. And then my sister goes, but then I need to go and get a bunny man's, so let's go and get a bunny man's in the middle of that. So we end up with beer, chili everywhere, and try.
Mike made his own lanyard one year of our itinerary for the weekend, which worked well. That was quite good.
Laminated,
laminated, and everything. And then we'd even look and say, right, what does the set list look like? Am I bothered about those first 4 songs? And then it's like,
it's a real operation,
isn't it?
Yeah.
But the best, the absolute best.
Yeah, it's a great place, and it's
it is. Yeah, I mean, I just like that. You can go and see one band, and then go and see 3 other bands after it that you might. I know that there's bands there that I know about because I've just gone, I might as well stay for next one, or I'll wander over and see what they're like. So there's so much opportunity for either seeing new stuff or, seeing big bands that I've not been able to see for quite a while for whatever reason, or just bands that I just absolutely love. And I'm like, yes, I'm going to see these again because it's a good mix of that, because there's lots of bands. There's a lot of bands that you think I'd see them at a festival, but I wouldn't necessarily. I mean, we live 2 hours away from anywhere with a decent concert hall. We're in Barrow-in-Furness, so we're about 2 hours to Manchester. So actually getting in and seeing a big chunk of bands in a weekend, it's a real. I mean, it's a real money saver for us at the end of the day, isn't it? But. And the amount of new favourite bands we got: Creeper, Breaking Benjamin, loads of bands that we'd have never really, we wouldn't have really been aware of if it wasn't for Download. Yeah, I know. It's like Wargasm and Ice Nine Kills.
Ice Nine Kills, yeah. Oh,
I love Ice Nine. That's
the mixture of your 2 favourite things, isn't it?
It's like
heavy
horror and metal.
Yeah.
I watched the Terrifier 3 yesterday. Oh my God, I don't know if you've seen that yet. Jeez,
it's brutal.
That was something else.
That's I absolutely loved it. I did go and see it at the cinema though, and I'm not gonna lie, other people did judge me because I laughed and they didn't.
It is meant to be funny.
It is. I find it really funny
because it's meant to be silly.
Yeah. Some of the gore bits, I imagine. I saw some reactions for people in the cinema. Jeez. Yeah, brilliant, amazing.
Yeah, but it was quite funny because me and my husband at the same no spoilers obviously to people listening, but at the same exact moment of something occurring, he and I both made the same ooh noise.
Yeah.
Then we were just laughing at the fact that we both thought it was funny, and then I was looking at other people like I can hear other people.
Because.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if my wife even saw me watching that film, she'd think I was absolutely like needing some attention, really. I think it would scare her just the idea of the film. Yeah. Anything above a 12 rated and Jane needs talking into it. So, yeah.
But, there's something about... I mean, there's a horror film festival that I'm lucky because it's in Sheffield called Celluloid Screams. And that's like the film version of Download.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. Yeah.
So, because my husband's not, I don't know. I mean, if I should say it out loud, but he's not very into metal. Oh. It's fine. We've got other things.
My dad calls them muggles.
Yeah. We're the same, though. We're in the same boat.
Yeah.
But like he loves horror films, so like he knows, because I go download with like my mates, and I'm like, that's my little holiday. But yeah, he and I went to Celluloid Screams for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and just immersed ourselves in horror films of different genres, independent,
that's brilliant.
old classic stuff. They had like a 35 mil old silvery might start a fire at any moment kind of screaming at midnight, that kind of stuff. And again, like I came back to work the week after and people were like, where have you been? You seem oddly rested. It's not download, is it? I'm like, no, I found something else that's also kind of good for me mentally. Yeah, I've been watching various people get decapitated in various ways. I feel oddly serene.
Yeah.
It's the same though, isn't it? It's the same. Just immersing yourself in some things does make you just feel happier, and it's something that's, I think, in the same way as people don't always understand horror, in the same way people don't understand metal music in a way.
Yeah.
They just think everything's literal. Everything you've got to take it. That's disgusting, that horror film, or that music's too angry, and it can't possibly be good for anyone.
Yeah.
It's all that similar thing.
I guess it's kind of like outside looking at their perspective. I mean, there's things that I see other people, and I'm like, how could you possibly find that? I'm like, I can't, like banana bread or soda bread or whatever else was the rage in lockdown. I'm like, no, I don't want to. How could you possibly think that's, but to them, you know, for other people, that's their thing, and they love it. And it's like, well, that's where I'm going to go. Okay, I don't like the same thing as you. That's fine. We all like different things because we're all different. Yep. But yeah, I mean, even at like the Celluloid Screams thing, I got like my battle jacket on, and people were like, "Ooh, Patchen, where did you go?" And yeah. Although I have got a bit of a weird battle jacket because it's not so much bands, it's 80s cartoons and horror things.
Oh,
just
cool!
Yeah, I decided to be a bit of an awkward metalhead and have a slightly different battle jacket. But
there's lots of them. All like the stalls around Download. They're very popular. Like the horror patches and stuff. Yeah, dead centre in all the shops, aren't they? Yeah, some really cool ones.
Yeah, but yeah. That's the other thing about Download though. It's a slight drawback. It's just it's a little bit expensive because I go, I'm not going to buy anything. I don't need any more boots. Oh, look at them.
Yeah,
they've got 4 buckles on, and the ones I've got have only got 3 on. No, you don't need. Stop it.
Don't need it. And then 2 pints later, and you're back there.
Well, we all crammed into Johnny's car in 2023, didn't we? And we were like, it's fine. We'll get crammed in for the way down. But on the way back, we won't have all the food, we won't have all the beer, and we ended up worse on the way back. Didn't we? We could just see my sister's face through all the stuff in the back. We were like, right, you get in, and we'll start loading stuff on top of you, and I'll see you in 4 hours.
And then we had we stayed in RIP, so they give us the gift of the gnomes that year as well. So we had 4 massive gnomes to bring back with us as well. There wasn't no room what at all. I had to leave a few chairs behind just to make room
to get home. But yeah, it's a warm place, isn't it, Download? And I think that's
I love it. It is. It's like a little retreat. It's my I call it my little, I'm going off for my wellness retreat.
Yeah,
it really is. Yeah,
that's definitely how we feel about it.
Yeah, like I do. Because between us, like me and Kate do the different social media accounts that we've got for Heavy Metal Therapy, with us kind of primarily being online, and I do our TikTok, and every year I kind of do a little like faux holiday little, I'm off to the wellness retreat, and it's Download because that's what it is.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Although I do think that we should at some point do some sort of like how to pack your car. Because if you don't do Download Tetris, you're going to be stuffed, aren't you? Trying to get it all in that certain, like,
definitely.
And then like you just took everything down it's a knack.
It is.
It's a definite skill.
We took us to attempts that year, didn't it?
Yeah.
We packed it on and we're like, oh shit, we forgot the cool box, or we forgot.
Yeah.
It's like, where's that going to go? Take everything out, put everything in the cool box, put it back in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely an act to it. We might do a video.
And like nesting dolls, you're like, that can go inside that. That can go inside
that's it. Yeah, exactly.
And then I don't know where that's going to go, but it's going to have to go somewhere because I need to take it.
Yeah. And then you get back and think, I've no idea where them Pringles were, and then they're like, they're in those wellies.
Yeah, so I got socks in a Pringles tube, and then like, what? Why? Hang on, how?
So just to round it off, Angela, I was just wondering, like, how would you sum up heavy metal therapy for someone who might be interested in, wellness and mental well-being, and are wanting to get into it from a heavy metal fan or alternative person's kind of avenue in, if you will?
Oh, there's nothing like putting me on the spot.
That's it.
So, we are heavy metal therapy. Heavy metal is good for you. Come along if you like metal music, or if you don't like metal music, because we're not actually that scary. And you might find something of our stuff that you find useful. If you don't, that's fine. But,
And you guys are everywhere, aren't you, on social media? You've got plenty of, there's the official pages, but there's also other groups have their own.
Yeah, we've got the website where you'll find our calendar, where we've got the details of things like the peer support groups and any events, because we do have things like, there's been some markets, some alternative markets, and we've had a stall at them, different music events. If we've got a stall there, with that kind of all trying to collate it all together so you can see what we're doing if you want to come along and try and plan. All our resources about different mental health experiences are all up on there, and they're all free to download. Then we've got a Facebook page. We've got the kind of subset group, which is, like I said, we started in COVID, and that's mostly just memes. But if you like a good meme, then, by all means, everybody's welcome. We use X, Instagram, TikTok is Nurse Ratchet for heavy metal therapy. So we kind of try and use different social media platforms, just because, again, different people like to engage with different types of social media. So we just try and put stuff out there, and you can either have a look or, go, actually, no, that's not for me. But yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of info on the website. The website's heavymetaltherapy.co.uk. The Instagram is heavymetaltherapy, all as one word. And everything else, it's the first thing you come up if you type it into Facebook. So the website's really good if anyone's curious about finding out all about what you do. And there's a lot of stories just there on the right on the surface for you to, testimonials and how people have found it, and obviously some excellent merch as well if you want to. Some of them designs are fantastic, and to find out their artwork from some of the support group users and members, that's really interesting.
Yeah, we like I said, we're very lucky that people of the heavy metal community, want to share stuff with us. So if anybody ever wants to, give us a story or make a suggestion for a new playlist, or to add to a playlist, or a new kind of resource page, then we always love stuff like that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Are the playlists available to all? Are they on Spotify?
Yeah, they're on Spotify, iTunes. We've kind of got all those links as on the website.
Amazing. Yeah, I'll take a look at those. That'd be cool. That's great.
Yeah, so for myself, thank you very much. Angela, thank you for giving up some of your time to talk to us. We really appreciate it, and thanks for everything you're doing with the mental health thing. It's something that's close to mine and yours heart.
It's amazing.
Your hearts, isn't it?
Incredible work. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, well, thanks for having me on, and thanks for still wearing the wristbands and, advertising the cause, as it were.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have the T-shirts on next time, so don't worry.
Oh, yes. And no, I shall pointedly come and find you. That sounds slightly scary, doesn't it? I should maybe try and say that in a way that's not so threatening. I'm looking forward to meeting up with you at Download. That's better, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look. Will you be in full corpse paint then, or you?
See, I have this plan every year that one of the days I'm going to wear corpse paint. And not that I'm complaining, because I'm aware that most years Download is drownload or downpour. The first couple of years after we couldn't go because of lockdown, the weather was unusually very, very, very warm. And I am pale, as elder emos are, and I kind of figured that corpse paint and sunblock, I couldn't kind of make that work. So that went out the window for that year. And then this last year, it was back to its usual kind of delightful weather. Not that I'm complaining, because at least we got to go.
Yeah.
But again, I just thought it's just going to just get... one year I will do it. 1 year. Probably.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
You must be able to get one that's got a sun protection factor in it as well. If not, someone's missing a...
Yeah, if there's anybody out there for like thinking of things to invent, I need a factor 50 that's also a white base that doesn't crack and stays matte. That's what I need.
Yeah.
There's the corpse paint guy that goes to Bloodstock in the Jevon. I bet he would know. We'll have to tag him in it. And see,
Oh, yeah.
He'd be the expert.
If you know people, by all means, please give us your suggestions. That would be very much appreciated. But no, I'm looking forward to download, and I'll
we'll see you there. Brilliant.
Yes, see you there in your new t-shirts, and hopefully I'll have some other things to give away for next time, like some badges or something different.
That'd be cool.
Brilliant. Yeah, thanks a lot, Angela. Thanks for your time.
Thanks both.
All right,
I've
take
really
care.
enjoyed it.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.
This is the Lowdown Podcast.
So, Johnny, first interview you've managed to join us for.
Join. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed that. I love the fact that the way we're trying to interview is not question and answer. Like we keep saying, like being at work, interviewing someone for a job.
Yeah.
It's just a general chat. And that really was just a proper, authentic chat with someone who was really nice, really forthcoming, really informative. And like I say, we could have spoke to her all afternoon, couldn't we?
Yeah. It's nice to get information while it just being an informal sort of chat, and we're building, new relationships, new friendships, and hopefully we'll manage to meet Angela in person at Download this year. So that'd be really cool. Well, again, but not actually knowing who each other are. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I hope everybody enjoyed the chat. If anyone feels like they need that support, or just a bit of light information, just check out the website heavymetaltherapy.co.uk. It's a really good resource. I've found some great articles, great little just snippets of information in times, or you can go a bit further than that. And there's like Angela said, the in-person support groups.
I'm going to check out some of the playlists that they've got in there. They sound quite good. Have a good listen to those.
Heavy metal yoga, I think that has to be at Download.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be it this year, or if anyone from the team are listening.
I think it'd be good. I don't know whether you do yoga before or after exercise, but I think if they went hand in hand with rock fit, that'd be absolutely amazing. Have a do a bit of a rock fit session, then afterwards everyone kind of sit down and then just kind of listen to Sleep Token and Tool and all that type proggy stuff. I think it'd be really smart. Yeah,
I think when I think Kendall Calling, they did yoga about 10 o'clock, and then they did like more upbeat at about 11. So that'd tie in nice, and it keeps the morning busy for those people who are up and about early.
Great.
Just new ideas, new things coming through that. I mean, once upon a time, I remember when we went to Bloodstock and Adam Gregory joked. He said, right, so if he was showing the site.
Yeah.
And he said, right, and so the stage is there and there's the bar. That's it. That's all you need. and he joked, obviously, because then he showed all the extracurricular activities available.
Yeah.
And that's how a festival has to be these days. Yeah. And it's amazing. I mean, when we first went to like Leeds Festival, you just didn't do anything else.
You just turn up, put your tent up and drink for 3 days, throw your crap everywhere. It's like those pictures of us at even at Sonosphere.
Yeah.
It looks like a different world.
Yeah.
It looks like the pictures when I look at like my dad or my mum when they were younger.
Yeah.
That type of
got like an old sheen
filter,
on them,
like
they? Yeah.
they have.
It's really strange.
Yeah, that'd be really good. I'm looking forward to again the merch as well. Actually, looking forward to having a look. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's great, and like Angela said, to look at someone and know that they're part of that same community.
Yeah,
who've got similar interests, similar worries, similar. I mean, we've said it, I think, in every single episode. The single best bit about download for us, get in that bubble, leave your worries behind
That's
for
it. Yeah,
4
don't
days.
think about any stresses.
No, I don't think about the car. I don't think about traffic. I don't think about normies or muggles. I'm just in that.
Pretty good,
Just in that total bubble of heavy metal, being with my friends, being happy, meeting new people, and having a nice chat.
I always have the download blues though when I come back, and it takes me a little bit to. I'm on a high, but it takes me a bit to get back to normality. We always say, God, you just feel like you go in your back garden and piss on the fence and crack open a beer.
That's it. Piss in your cup at work and throw it at the guy in front.
Not that we do that when we're there.
No, that is 100% a joke. But not shouting Slayer
every time.
Throwing the. I did it at. This is actually a true story. We were in the services after, and someone came out of the toilets not wearing any rocks. He was in like a suit, and I just threw the rock horns at him like you would at download, and he just looked at me like I was absolutely.
What's the plan?
Yeah. It's a strange adjustment, especially this year when you came out of that mud and you were standing on solid ground again.
Yeah, I know. It's like coming out of a bloody war zone, wasn't it?
It was.
But yeah, really, really enjoyed that chat. Really. Thank you very much for joining us for that.
Yeah, but I mean, this week we were just reflecting on the start of the Kerrang show, the download, which I'm guessing is a little bit similar to this, but looking at it from the other lens. So this podcast aim is to look at the community, look at the people who make download work from the fans side, rather than looking at particularly at band interviews and stuff. We want to talk about the community of people that make download what it is more than any of that, and that's the attendees. So we want to talk more to people like Angela, like Hannah, like Josh, like Jordan. So if anyone's got something they want to cover, we've got the Fever Kings are going to come on and chat with us about their new single, and about the struggle of being a touring artist in this day and age. So
maybe we speak to someone if whoever's out there listening about if you've gone on your own, and then because this whole sense of community and now talking to people who never spoke to before but immediately click. Love to get that perspective from somebody who's maybe been on their own and how that went.
Camp Loner. Or sometimes referred to as Lone Wolf, but if there's anyone from that group who's gone to download on their own, I want to talk about. I mean, it's one of the most commonly asked questions I've seen.
I see it everywhere.
Is I'm going on my own. What would you recommend? And everyone recommends Camp Loner. But I'd love to hear those people that have had good experiences of that, who've made friends, who've because it's such a daunting thing. I nearly went to the pilot on my own. And it would have been fine, but I'd love to actually hear firsthand what it's like.
Yeah, it's like. And
the same with volunteering and things like that.
The things that make download work outside of the corporate machine, isn't it?
Well, it's a living, breathing world for 5 days. So there's so many little corners that people don't know about. It's such a fascinating thing. I mean, we bore our other halves all the time with it. That's another reason that we did this podcast.
So we just talk to each other about it instead of boring them.
So it's it's such a fascinating world of heavy metal, sweaty people and tents.
The best.
It is. Better. So we hope you enjoyed looking a little bit through mental health this week. I think it's important in January. We've got the fabled or mythical Blue Monday is when we're aiming to release this. So whether that's a real thing or not is up for debate from what I've read. But it still doesn't harm or hurt to, have a good look at your own mental health and make sure you're in a good position for driving on towards June.
Not long to
go. We want to see you all there happy and having have had a great first half of the year. So thank you very much, everybody, again.
And we'll catch you next week.
Catch you next week. We're going to do logo roundup part, whatever the hell we're up to.
3,
now.
I think it is.
Are we on 3?
Yeah.
We're looking at Cradle of Filth, Lorna Shore,
McFly
and Meshuggah. There's
Yeah,
4
there we
bands
go.
you can put together normally.
Bro, we'll catch you next week.
This is the LoadDown Podcast.